Hello. So today I'll be giving my review about the book that I decided to read for the 3 weeks reading challenge. And the name of the book that I chose is Mathilda, and the author is Mary Shelley. But before talking about the book, before discussing about the book, let's take a quick look at Mary Shelley's life. So Mary was an England novelist. She was born on August 30, 1797, in London. A few days after her birth, her mother, who was a feminist writer, died, leaving Mary Shelley and her sisters, her siblings, in the care of her father, who was a philosopher and poet. Mary, as many people in this world, had to go through difficult and tragic situations and times, such as the death of her two children. And this situation, of course, obviously left her devastated and in a deep depression. And it was at that exact moment that she decided to write short novels, to calm her mind, to forget about everything. And Matilda was one of those novels, short novels, or the only one that she finished. Now that we already talked a little bit about Mary's life, let's talk about the book. What is the book about? So, Matilda talks about a young woman called Matilda, named Matilda, who lost her mother in her labor, in her birth, when Matilda was born. And her father, for his side, he couldn't resist the pain of losing his great love, Matilda's mom, and he abandoned Matilda. He went to live to another country, leaving Matilda with her aunt. And her aunt was a woman that was not affectionate or a loving woman. So Matilda grew up believing that no one loved her. But the story becomes interesting when Matilda's father returns after many years and falls in love with her. A father, a father falls in love with her daughter. And then he decided to kill himself. He committed suicide because of his perverse love and uncontrollable desire for his daughter. What a story. And my opinion about the book, I find it impressive and heartbreaking at the same time. And it's interesting how the writer generates a mixture of emotion, of feelings in the reader. Many times feeling sorry for the father and the unacquired, I'm saying right? Am I saying right? Okay, of her unacquired love for his daughter, and even knowing that it's a sick love. And Matilda, on the other hand, blaming herself for her father's feelings. Oh, and it's also interesting how the writer included these taboo topics at that time, of course, such as suicide and incest. And about the structure of the topic, of the book, sorry, it has a really good chronolo. Is it has a good chronological time, you know. And oh, I gotta emphasize that the book was written like in past from Mathilda's deathbed because Mathilda was about to die when he wrote her story. I would definitely recommend this book to people who love drama, who love romanticism and suspense because it provokes a lot of feelings. But one thing that was a little bit complicated for me was the English, of course, because I think there were so many complicated words that I couldn't understand, even looking for the meaning in the dictionary in Spanish, translating, because there were words that I translated them, sorry, in Spanish, and the word in Spanish was new, where and those words in Spanish were new for me, and I speak Spanish. So in English was worst. But yet, I think that that's because it was an old English or because it was an British English because the writer was born in London. So I think that has that influences a lot. But yeah, leaving that on one side, the book was amazing, was awesome. I would say that is the first book that I read, like a story. It's the first, and I definitely love it. I think I'll be looking for more books like that to read.